Hello everyone, how are you? I hope you are doing well. Welcome all in this new video lecture. In this video, we will see list variable in Python programming language. So without wasting any time, let's deep dive in the video. Now I have already created a Jupyter notebook file where I have written and stored everything that you need to know about list variable in Python programming language. So without wasting any time, let's jump in the video. First is introduction. In programming, lists are an essential data type that allows you to store a collection of items in a single variable. So lists are flexible, powerful, and widely used in variety of Python programs. From simple script to complex applications, some common use cases for list in Python are storing collection of data, iterating over sequences. Here we will cover all the basics of list variable in Python, including how to create and modify them, how to access individual elements of a list, and how to iterate over the elements of a list. We will also look at some built-in functions and methods that make working with the list easier. So first is use of list in Python. So first use of the list in Python is storing collection of data. So lists are often used to store collection of related data. For example, a list of names, a list of numbers, a list of objects. Second is iterating over sequences. So list can be used to represent sequences of items that can be iterated over. For example, a list of coordinates in a game or a list of timestamps in a log file. Third is sorting and searching. List can be sorted or searched to find a specific element. For example, a list of grades that can be sorted to find the highest or lowest grade, or a list of words can be searched to find a specific word. The fourth is data preprocessing. List can be used to pre-process data before further analysis. For example, a list of strings can be cleaned and tokenized before being used for NLP, that is natural language processing. The fifth is building data structure. So list can be very useful to build more complex data structure such as stacks, queue, linked list, and many more. So these are few examples. The next is creating a list. To create a new list in Python, you can use square bracket and separate the element with commas. So here is the example. So my list is the name of this list variable, and this contains these numbers. So the numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my list will be a list variable. So this is how a list variable is created. And if you want to create an empty list, so you just have to write my list is equal to square brackets. That's it. Then if you want to add some values, some numbers in that list, you can do that append. My list dot append 1 will append that list, and the 1 will be stored in that list. And my list dot append 2 will append 2 in that list, and the list will contain now 1, 2. Similarly, if I do my list dot append 3, so this 3 will be added to that my list. So now my list will be having 1, 2, 3. If I print this my list, so you can see my list is having 1, 2, 3. List can also contains elements of different data types such as string, floats, or even other lists. Here is an example. My list is equal to, so square bracket, and in that square bracket you are having apple, that is a string, and then float, then a string itself. So the length of this my list will be 3 here. Next is indexing and slicing. Indexing is the process of accessing individual elements of a list by position or index in the list. In Python, index of first element is 0, and the index of the last element is the length of list minus 1. So to access a single element of a list, you can use square bracket and the index of element you want. So my list is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we are printing first and fourth element. So for first element we will use index number as 0, and the fourth element we will use index number as 3. So if I run this cell, so this will print me 1, 4. You can see. And slicing is the process of accessing a portion of a list by specifying range of indices. So my list is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the start index will be 1 and the end index will be 4, and the length of this portion of the list will be 4 minus 1, that is end index minus start index, so this will be 3. It will give us output as 2, 3, 4 because the start index is 1, so 1 means the second element, so this will give us the output as 2, 3, 4. Now if I run this cell, then it will print us 2, 3, 4. We can also use negative indices to slice a list from the end. For example, to slice the last 3 elements of a string, you can use the syntax -3 like this here. So this will give us the last 3 elements of this my list. So if I run this cell, this will give me 3, 4, 5. So these are the last 3 elements of this my list. The next is modifying a list. So in Python, we can modify the elements of a list by assigning new values to them, or by using methods that change the list in the place. To modify a single element of a list, you can use indexing and assignment. Here is an example. My list is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we are doing indexing and then assigning a new value, that is 10 here, and the index number is 3. So index number is 3, that means we are going to assign a new value to the 4th element. So the 4 will be replaced by 10 here, and you can see the 4 is gone now and the 10 is here. To add an element to a list, you can use append method, which add an element to the end of the list. My list is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the my list dot append 6. This will add a new element at the end of the list. So if I print this my list now, this will give me output as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See, if I have to remove element from a list, we can use methods like pop or remove. So first pop. So pop removes the element at a specific index and return its value. So my list is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the value is my list dot pop 2. So pop 2 means the third element. If I print the my list now, the my list will be having 1, 2, 4, 5 only, because the third element is popped out, and the value will be having the third element here. So because we have stored the third element in the value variable. So if I print these two variables now, so my list will be giving 1, 2, 4, 5, and the value will be giving 3. So 1, 2, 4, 5, and the value is 3. Now same thing we can do using remove method. So in the remove method, we have to give the actual number that is present in that string. So here we do not give any indices like we do in the pop method. So here if I have to remove this 3, so I have to have that 3 only. So if I have written my list dot remove 3, so it will remove this 3 number from this list. So if I run this cell, you can see 1, 2, 4, 5. Now the next is iterating over a list. So iterating over a list in Python means going through each element of the list one by one and performing sub operation on each element. Python provides several ways to iterate over a list, including a for loop and using list comprehension. So I do not have video on for loop for now, but I will create some videos on for and while loop also. So for that, you just subscribe my YouTube channel. And the list comprehension, I will talk about it later also in this video only. So using for loop is the most common way to iterate over a list. So my list is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I will have to write these 2 lines of code. So for element in my list, then print, then you can do anything you want. So if I write print element into 2, so this will print me the double of the numbers that are in the list variable. So if I run this cell, you can see 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So these are the numbers that are the double of the numbers in the my list. So this is how this iterating is done using for loop. You can do anything you want here, like you can do the square of all the numbers. So you can do any operation you want here. You can also use list comprehension to iterate over a list and perform some operations on each element. So list comprehension is the concise way to create a new list by iterating over the existing list and applying some operations. So here is an example. My list is 1 2 3 4 5 and the new list is element into 2 for element in my list. So actually this is a for loop only. This is very concise way because it is in only one line and that also in the list. So this is why it is called list comprehension. So the new list will be having the double of all the numbers in my list. So if I run this cell, so the values are 2 4 6 8 comma 10. So this is how you can do the basically list comprehension. Moving to the next, the list function and methods. So Python provides many built-in functions and methods that can be used to manipulate and work with lists. So some of the functions are length, that returns the number of length in the list. That is next is sorted, that returns the sorted version of the list. Then sum, that returns the sum of the element in the list. Then min, max, so this returns the smallest and the largest number in the list. So in the example here you can see I have created a list called my list and it shows some number 1 5 2 4 3. This time these are randomized. So we will use the first function, that is length, and if I write like this, length, then in bracket my list, so this will give me the length of the list. So length of the list is 5 here because there are 5 elements, so it will give me the output as 5. And then if I write sorted my list, then it will give me the sorted version of my list. If I write sum my list, it will give me the sum of all the elements in my list. If I write min my list, it will give me the number that is minimum in my list. And if write max my list, it will give me the number that is maximum in my list. So if I run this cell, it will give me the output as length is equal to 5 and the sorted version of my list is 1 2 3 4 5 and the sum of all the numbers in my list are 15. Minimum value of numbers in my list is 1 and the maximum value of numbers in my list is 5. So this is what it is showing here. Now there are some methods which are used in list. So first is append. So the append adds an element at the end of the list. The second is insert. It inserts an element at the specified position in the list. The third is remove. So it removes the first occurrence of a specified element from a list. The fourth is pop. The pop removes and returns the element at a specified position in the list. The fifth is index. It returns the index of the first occurrence of a specified element in a list. And the next is count. Count returns the number of times a specified element appears in a list. The next is sort. It sorts the element in a list. And the last is reverse. So reverses the order of the element in the list. Here is an example of using all these methods. So first I created a list called my list and that is store some values 1 5 2 4 3 and the first method, that is append. So I will write my list dot append, then in bracket 6. So this will append value 6 in the last of this my list. My updated list will be 1 5 2 4 3 6. So second is insert method. So insert method will take two attributes. First is the index number where we want to insert that value, and the second is that value itself. So here in this example the index number is 2 and the value is 7. So this index number 2 is showing us like this 7 value will go at the third place in the string. So our newly updated string will be 1 5 7 2 4 3 6. And the third method is remove method. So this remove method will remove the element which is passed here. So the 2 element is passed here. So this 2 will be the 2 will be removed from the list. So if I run this cell, this 2 will be removed. So this will print us the output as 1 5 7 4 3 6. So there is no 2, but if there were more than 1 2s, so only the first 2 was removed from here and the rest 2s were there. Next is pop method. So pop method returns the removed elements from the list. So we can store that removed element in the variable. So here we are storing that number in value, and we are popping the third element. So third element is 7. We just inserted. Value will be having value 7, and my list will be having numbers 1, 5, 4, 3, 6. So there will be no 7. The next is dot index method. So in that index method we can get the index of that number which is present in the list. So if I write my list dot index 5, so this will give me the index of this 5. So wherever this 5 is, so my list dot index 5 will give us the value of that index. So if I print this index, it will give us output as 1 because the 5 is present as the second element. But you know, the indexing start from 0. So this 5 will be at first index. The next is count method. So my list dot count 4. So this will count all the 4s in that list. So in the list there is only one 4, so it will give us the output as 1. Now next is sort method. So this sort method will sort the string in ascending order. And the next is my list dot reverse. So it will reverse the my list. So you can see like the output might be 6, 5, 4, 3, 1. So if I run this cell, the output will be 6, 5, 4, 3, 1. You can match everything is same which we just have written here in the comment section. So there are some advanced topics related to list. So first is list comprehension, which we have already discussed. So this is a concise way to create a new list by applying an operation to each element of an existing list, often with a conditional statement included. For example, my list is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the new list is equal to x into x. For x in my list, if x modulo 2 is equal to 0. What this list comprehension is doing here, first it is searching if there is any number which is divided by 2 or not. So if that number is divided by 2, then we will do some operation on that number. So you can see 2 and 4 are the numbers which are divided by 2. So it is doing some operations on those numbers. So operation is x into x. So x into x means 2 into 2. And the next element is 4. So x into x for this 4 is 4 into 4. So it will give us the output as 4, 16. You can see the output is 4, 16. You can do something else. If you want to double the number, which is we are extracting here. So if you want to double the number, you can just write x into 2. See, the operation is different here now. The next is nested list. So nested list contains other list as element, and it allows for more complex data structures to be created. For example, you can see we are creating a matrix here. So here you can see there are 3 elements in the matrix variable, that is a list variable. So this matrix variable is containing 3 elements, but these 3 elements itself are 3 different lists. So this is a kind of 2D array here. So if I have to access some element from this, so I have to write I have to use 2 square bracket. So first square bracket is showing us I have to extract the value from this second element, and the second square bracket is telling like you have to extract the third value from that second element. So you can see the second element is this second list, and the third value is the 6 here. So if I write this cell, then it will print as the 6. If I have to extract this 8 here, then I have to use this 2 here and this 1 here. Now this will give us the output as 8. You can see the output is 8 now. So the next is aliasing and copying. When you assign a list to a new variable, you are creating a reference to the same list object in memory. This can lead to unexpected behavior if you modify the list through one variable as it will affect all other variables that reference to the same list. To create a separate copy of the list, you can use the copy method or slice notation. So here is an example. So list 1 is 1, 2, 3 and list 2 is list 1. So this will create an alias, and this is not a copy in fact. And the list 3 is equal to list 1 dot copy. So this creates a copy of that list. And list 4 is list 1, then in square bracket there is a column. So this also creates a copy of that list. If I write list 1 dot append 4, so what will happen, list 1 will be appended by a number 4, and at the same time list 2 will be also appended by a value 4, because list 2 is the alias of list 1. So whatever operation is being done on the list 1, it will be automatically done on the list 2 as well. And you can see list 3 and list 4 are not affected because these are not the aliases of list 1. Instead, these are the copy of list 1. So whatever operations is being done on the list 1 will not affect list 3 and list 4, because these are the copy of list 1, not aliases. So list 2 is alias, so it will be affected. Now the conclusion. In conclusion, a list is powerful and versatile data structure in Python that allow us to store and manipulate collection of data, and we can create lists with any combination of data types and modify them in various ways, including adding or removing elements, accessing and updating elements, and iterating over the entire list. Overall, lists are an essential tool for data analysis, scientific computing, and general purpose programming, and these are widely used in variety of applications and domains. Whether you are a beginner or an experienced programmer, learning how to use lists effectively can be valuable asset in your coding toolkit. So that's it from this video. I hope you liked it.